What's good, YouTube? It's your boy imLowKey, and before we get into this video, I just want to go ahead and announce that I released my latest beat tape called Proof of Existence. It's full of banging beats that pack a punch and also just have a raw and dirty sound to it. So I highly recommend you guys check that out. The links will be down in the description below. Make sure you check it out on Bandcamp, Spotify, all that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video. So I came up with this short loop on the SP404. Check it out. And I think I can come up with a pretty nice bass line for it. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I come up with my bass lines and also give you guys some tips and tricks that you can use. First things first, let's go ahead and hit shift and record setting. That's going to take us to the sound generator. And the wave file type that I'm always using is the sine wave. I just feel like it sounds really nice for the bass lines. It gives me a really nice, fat, punchy sound. And yeah, with that being said, another thing that I like to do is make sure that my level isn't too high, because this bass sound can be very, very loud at full volume. So what I like to do is just turn that down, sometimes to somewhere around 90. 80 will be fine as well. We can always turn it down or up if we need to. But with that being said, another thing that I like to go ahead and change in this setting, I like to go over to Envelop and play with the different envelopes. So we were on A1. Let's see what these other ones sound like. So basically, each envelope gives the bass a different character. And I like to just go ahead and see which one just sounds nice, which one sounds punchy, which one also has, the least amount of clicks. So going through, C2 sounds pretty cool. B2 has a little bit of click to it, but the one that I'm usually using is A1. I just feel like it sounds right. It's very, very minimal. You barely even hear it, to be honest. But it's just one of those things. If you want to get your bass line dialed in, I really recommend going ahead and seeing what the different ones sound like. Let's go ahead and make sure everything sounds right. We're going to hit record and make sure that we have no effects on. We don't want to process this bass sound. I feel like it sounds good enough right now. We're going to also add stuff later on in the beat. But for now, we just want a dry signal. So we're going to hit record and choose a pad that we can put it on. We're just going to put on that blank pad. And now we have our bass sound. You might also notice we got a click whenever we let off of the pad. So what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go into Envelop and change the release. All you really need to do is change it to 1, and that should get rid of all the clicks. You can also put it up to 2 or 3, and that's going to give it a nice soft release. Or you can go a little bit crazier with the release. Basically, we're going to just leave it at 1 because I like to go ahead and control, how punchy it is or how long the note's going to be held for. So there you have it. We have our bass sound. It's sounding pretty good. No clicks behind it. So what we're going to do now is just play the loop and listen to it. And try to hear a bass line in your head already. Once you hear it, try to hum it out. What this is going to do is give you an idea of what you should be playing and what notes you should be looking for when you're playing your bass. So we're gonna play the beat. Let's get our filter back on. And let's go to our bass sound. We're gonna put this on a separate bus. We're gonna put this on bus 2. And we're gonna hit shift and 4 to go to chromatic mode. Let's try to hear something. So I'm gonna try to look for those notes. Alright. So we basically got something right there. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this pattern, just in case I want to come up with another idea. I'm going to copy it a few times, actually. And let's go ahead and record that bass pattern that we heard earlier. So let's go ahead, hit record. We're we're gonna wait for it to actually start recording. We're gonna hit rehearsal so that it doesn't record our notes, so we can go into chromatic mode. And I'm just gonna rehearse that bass pattern. Boo, 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 boom. Something like that. Real simple for now. I feel like that's cool. All right, so now that we got a basic bass line, we could call it just, you know, a rap and leave it like that, but that's pretty simple. So what I'm gonna do is add layers to this bass line. Usually when I get those crazy bass lines, I'm usually layering notes on top of it one by one. So let's go ahead and try to experiment with that. I'm gonna go back into pattern select, start recording, but put it on rehearsal. We don't want to record our notes yet. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just try to find some complementary notes behind it. So boop boop boop, boom, boop boop boop. So boop boop. All right. Boop. All right, so I'm hearing something. So the pattern I'm hearing is something like this. Something like. And then I gotta go down to like. Something like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna stress it and try to record it all in one take. We're gonna go ahead and just do it just a few notes at a time. And let's put it on rehearsal. Let's try to record it. Put it back to rehearsal. Let's find that note. We just added a few layers to it, just adding notes on top of it. It can be high notes, it can be low notes, whatever ones you feel like belong within the bass line. You can also hum a bass line that's a lot more complex and try to just add those complex notes one at a time, because sometimes those rhythms can be hard to play all at once. So let's try to go ahead and come up with another bass line. All right, so let's try to hear something first. Boop 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 boop. Something like that. Boo boo, something like that. Boo boo. Yep, like that. Boo 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 boo. Boo boo. All I did right there was just layer those notes on top of it. I didn't try to record it all at once. I got an idea out and then stick it in. Get an idea out, stick it in. I don't have. Oh my God, pause. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I get an idea out and I throw it in there one at a time. I don't stress about trying to record all the different lines at once. Let's try one more. All right, so I'm hearing something. What I want to do is, we got those high notes, those staccato high notes. What I want to do is try to like do a good sweep up from the low end. So boo 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 boo. So I used this note earlier. Actually, I used all these notes earlier as well. So keep in mind the notes that you've already used, because that can help you gain different ideas. Let me try to change the rhythm up a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. Something like that. So it's gonna be 4 notes. Let's try it. I didn't like that one. Let's try again. Let's see how it sounds. Let's try one more time. That's good enough. That's just one way that I come up with these bass lines on the SP404. Another thing that I like to do is use the different scales. So let's go back to this basic loop and let's try to utilize different scales on the sound generator. So let's play this loop. And let's see what notes we can use. Go ahead and hit rehearsal. And I like to use Dorian. I also like to use Phrygian. And I also like to use the different pentatonic ones. So this is major, that's minor. You can usually find some pretty good notes within those different scales, the pentatonic scales. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to find the right key or the right root note to base the scale off of. And I try to not think about it too much. I try to just use my ears. Whatever sounds good, I just stick to that. Sometimes I only need like 2 to 3 different notes that sound good, and that could be enough for me to go ahead and run with that idea and then switch the scale around again and see what different notes would also sound good within the bass line. So let's try to do something like that. So we're on pentatonic major. We can do something with that. So we can just leave it like that. And now let's go ahead and change the scale up and see what notes we can use with this pentatonic minor. I actually like that. We kind of got lucky right there. Let's see what else. Sometimes once you come up with a bass line, you can actually use that bass line to have different ideas within it. So you can break that bass line down and just use that simpler pattern as a new bass line. So let's go ahead and try to do something like that. Let's do it with this. Let's copy this pattern so we can have 2 instances of it just in case we make a mistake. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna play it, hit record, and hit delete. So now we're gonna delete whatever notes we don't want to be in. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. So that's enough about how I get my different bassline ideas, but let's actually talk about how you can make that bassline stick out in the mix. So this beat so far has 0 processing effects on it besides this filter on the piano. That's about it. One thing that I like to do is add a compression to the master. So whatever is the last few bus effects, we're gonna go ahead and throw a compressor on there. It can be a 303 compressor, it can be the regular compressor. One of my favorite combos would have to be cassette plus 303 or cassette plus compressor. Those two are pretty good. Let's go ahead and see how those sound. Okay, I actually like the way 303 plus equalizer sounds. The 303 vinyl compresses it. I have the compressor at 82 just so that bass line can really pump up whenever it's being played. We also have the equalizer on here. We're just boosting up the low frequencies, boosting up some of those high mids at 8K, and boosting up the highs a lot at 16K. This is just so the beat can sound clean, but we're also boosting up that bass. So let's go ahead and mix this bass, because sometimes when you add that compression on it, that bass line can really just drown out the whole beat, especially if you didn't turn it down back when you were on the sound generator mode. It's just gonna choke the beat out. So let's go ahead and play the bass line. And let's go ahead and just see if it sounds better while we lower the bass. That might sound a little bit more balanced. I think that sounds good. All right, so that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. That's how I come up with my bass lines. Just a few tips and tricks that I like to use, and different techniques that I feel like are useful. And also, make sure you check out that beat tape. The links are gonna be down below. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Peace, you guys.